If you're stuck inside a difficult relationship, a toxic dynamic, or you have left that relationship, whether you are recently divorced or it has been a few years, but your life has not changed, you don't feel better, then this video is for you. Hi, everyone. My name is Meena Puri. I help you resolve emotional patterns at the root so you can live with these. I recently released my third book. It's called The Relationship Illusion: How Smart Women Lose Themselves in Love and How to Stop. I will put the link in the description. It's available on Amazon. You can get yourself a copy if you want to go deeper into these conversations. And that's actually the book. The back, here's what the book looks like. So let's go ahead and dive into the topic of why the relationship you have left, and whether you're inside the same old relationship for years. Question is, why haven't you not left? And why, if you have left, you don't feel better. So I come across some conversations on either social media, inside groups, and even amongst circles of women friends. There's so much conversation about the pain that these women are enduring or have endured. There's a lot of conversation about the other person doing these things and trying to understand their behavior, especially when it comes to a controlling narcissistic type behavior, and trying to make sense of something that is nonsensical, trying to make sense of that crazy making behavior, not easy to comprehend. But there is that circular ongoing conversation where there's so much conversation about the pain, the wounds, and everything that they have endured and how unfair it has been. And what I see is that the conversations are perpetual. There is no conversation on how are you going to stop being inside that loop. So let me clarify. Anytime when we go through a difficult circumstance, anytime we endure so much that was shocking or unacceptable or painful, it is important to add language to it. It is important to discuss it with somebody because there's witness value. So the other person can validate your experience so you don't think you're making stuff up or you are going crazy. So there is value in this. But what happens when this kind of conversations become perpetual? It is like a diminishing value. The value no longer is there. What it subtly making you do unconsciously is that you fall back into the same old pattern of abandoning yourself and totally trying to make sense of someone else's behavior. I'm sure you have noticed that no matter how much you try to understand someone's behavior, first of all, it's difficult to do, because you're going to understand it from your lens of your experience. Second, it keeps you away from understanding your behavior. Number three is you are re-traumatizing yourself if the behavior itself was very painful and traumatizing. So yes, we need to talk about it. Yes, we need to add language. Yes, we need to witness value. But there's got to be like an expiration date on it. At some point, we have to stop putting our energy into understanding the other person and start investing our energy into understanding ourselves. What does that mean? The question to ask is not, how can he do this? How can people be like that? How can men be like that? Why is the sky blue? Even if you understand it, it's going to remain blue. What's the point here? The question to ask is, What is inside of you, first of all, that you attracted this dynamic, this person to you? You attracted him. Secondly, most importantly, what is it within you that made you override what you were feeling, your own intuition, your own gut feeling, your own self-respect, that you stayed for more? And I understand there is the shock of the whole thing. You were not anticipating this, fair. And then once you get caught up into a dynamic, there's finances involved, there's family structure, social structure, there's children involved. But you can be involved and still be honest with yourself. You can stay in a dysfunctional relationship as long as you are clear as to why you are staying in here, as long as you understand that this is dysfunctional, how do I peel myself off of it? And how do I become authentic and sovereign inside this dysfunction? So I'm true to myself and I'm staying here for a reason. I'm staying here for the kids' sake. I'm staying here for the finances. So you're not fooling yourself. That clarity and that honesty is going to stop you from repeating the same patterns that brought you into this relationship to begin with. So I want to explain what a pattern is. So you've heard the saying that it's, doing the same thing and expecting a different result is a sign of insanity. But we see so many people doing it. We see ourselves doing it. So it's not that you can't hear or you don't understand, but something much more powerful than your conscious mind is running the show. Underneath the doing, there is an energetic signature, there's an energetic flow, there's an energetic conversation that is happening within your nervous system, your energy, and it's on autopilot. So even when you know you should not be doing this, why did you do this? You find yourself doing it again because it's on autopilot. That's why you keep on repeating the same thing. And that's what I call a pattern. A pattern is in the subconscious. It's formed by your life experiences, the unhealed trauma. Nonetheless, the pattern is there. The pattern may be, I'm just going to become a martyr. I'm going to understand the other person to the nth degree, and then maybe something will get better. Well, because your nervous system learned that overdoing, overriding yourself is the only way that you can be safe. And, ironically, you never feel safe. So you keep doing the same thing in the hopes that you will feel safe, you feel better, but you fall back inside the same ditch. So that's a pattern. We're not going to understand our patterns if we keep asking, why did he do this? How could he hurt me like this? What kind of a person does that? You're not going to get to your pattern. Even if you understand the other person, which is noble, but it's not going to change your life. When you understand the other person, what are you going to do? Excuse their behavior, condone, forgive. What happens when you do that? You again become the doormat, the martyr, the one who carries his emotions, the one who becomes the emotional rescuer of another person. Well, how much space do you have in your psyche, in your nervous system? When you are carrying so much of the other person, there's no room for you to carry you. So has understanding the other person to the nth degree changed anything for you? Has it brought you closer to yourself? That's the conversation that I want to shift from you. Shifting from talking about the other person to let the other person be. They can figure out their own behavior. Your job is to ask, do you want to participate in this? Do you want to communicate about this? Is this fixable? Can this be changed? Or do you see that it hasn't changed for decades? or maybe you have not communicated fully. The question to ask is, how are you creating and recreating your experience? The strange thing happens, we get traumatized from something once. When we talk about it 100 times, we are re-traumatizing ourselves. We give that incident much more power than it really deserves in our life. Not that the trauma didn't happen, not that you didn't need to heal it, but talking about it without any purpose as to why you are talking about it is not going to heal you. It's just going to make you stuck inside the same old pattern that you are so used to. It feels safe, it feels familiar, so it just becomes automatic. You just keep doing it. Maybe you feel better for the moment, but you get a headache, you have the same experience, and life does not go anywhere. So my ask is that if you're inside a toxic relationship, a difficult relationship, or if you have left the relationship, I want to ask you from one day to the next, once you have the awareness that this is not exactly what you were hoping for, that you have communicated, something is not changing, what is it that you're going to do? So, is your life getting better inside of yourself? Because it doesn't matter if you leave the relationship, you carry the person right along with you in your head and you keep talking about them till the nth degree. Life doesn't change because you leave the relationship. Life changes because you change, whether you are inside the relationship or outside the relationship. Yes, many times leaving the relationship physically is very important because there's safety or violence issues going on, and nobody is asking you to go ahead and keep punishing yourself, keep testing yourself inside a very volatile environment. Absolutely not. But sooner or later, we have to come to that realization that whatever we are experiencing inside any dynamic, we are creating it. It's a hard truth, but until we look at it, we're going to keep leaking our power away. We're giving it to someone else. So the question, if you're inside a difficult relationship, is the question that women get plagued with is, should I stay? Should I leave? No matter how many times they ask that question, they never get the answer because perhaps it's not the question. It's because that relationship, you have made the relationship such a defining thing in your life that you're waiting for that crescendo or that big decision that somehow is going to change your life. It's only going to change your life if you change you. And that happens by asking the question, why do I keep tolerating it? How am I going to come back to myself? Who am I? So change the direction from them or him to yourself because that's where your power lies. When you take your power in your own hands, you are going to start feeling better. Life is going to feel like it belongs to you. You can think straight. You are not controlled by someone else's behavior because it's continuously changing. You can't really understand the other person. It's about the acceptance, but that can't happen if you don't even know what is it that who is accepting, who is inside the relationship. So watch out for one of the things that I tell all of my clients is when it comes to your personal inner work, it's better not to take on a big audience. It's totally okay for you to have a confidant, for you to talk to a friend, somebody who can listen. So it can be a sounding board, somebody who can sit there, hold your hand, breathe with you, and just listen and assure you that you're going to find your way. They're not giving you answers because these answers you need to find yourself, but they're there for you. That's very different from just casually, continuously talking about everything you've gone through repeatedly in groups of people where you just become the topic of conversation. So many people are hurting. Many times when all the pain of the collective pain of the group comes together, it's very difficult to then figure out, am I helping this? Is this about me or is this about this person? People project their pain onto others. Not everybody is equipped to know how to listen or what to say, because everybody then uses that as an opportunity to, well, I'm going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about me, because everybody needs to talk about whatever they are going through. But it's not going to help you. That's why when you do work inside a structured container, when you do work with an expert, you visit the traumas, the painful things, you do add the language, you do talk about the details because you get witness value, but you're doing it because you're going to learn how to look at the whole bigger picture, and you're going to learn how to heal that what you endured. You may have to only visit it once or twice, but it does not become a perpetual topic of conversations. I have clients who are 70 years old. They're talking about something that happened 50 years ago. They keep talking about it because nobody has stopped them and saying, you've talked about it enough. It's time for you to take your power back and ask the questions that are actually going to make your life feel better. And the question is, how do I attract this to me? How am I going to come back to myself? My book talks about that in detail, so I recommend that you get a copy of it. So reframe the questions about the other person, make it about you. The relationship is about you. The relationship is a stage where whatever you have not identified or acknowledged within yourself, the relationship is going to pull it out. It's going to show you a mirror. That's why relationships can really help us heal if we use it to heal, because they show us so much that we otherwise are not able to see. Okay? So shift your focus from them to you. Shift the question from should I stay, should I leave, if you're inside the dynamic, to how do I come back to myself? These are the questions that are going to give you your power back. They're going to give you your answers. And that's how life is going to change. So if this resonated with you, please go ahead and comment, like, and share. And my question to you is, where have you noticed that by being stuck in that perpetual conversation, how do you feel when you are continuously having that conversation, and where in life you feel that you are having that conversation and it's actually draining you rather than giving you your power back? I would love to know. And if you like this topic that interests you, then there's a video that I did on how the patterns is the same, but they just wear different costumes. Until we change the patterns at the root, we repeat them in different situations with the different people. That's why leaving one relationship and jumping into another relationship is just another phase. It's the same pattern. Until you change, you take yourself where you are, right? So watch that video, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the next one.